think you need to do editing yourself, and then for the clipping you use the AI.
Yeah,
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 I'm
yeah.
sure there's AI now that does editing, but it's like, if it
Yeah.
doesn't do it if it doesn't do it perfectly as you want it, then it's
Then it's garbage.
waste of
Yeah,
time.
right.
So you're actually used to microphone.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're actually
yeah.
used
Oh,
to.
yeah, yeah. I recorded in the studio a bunch of songs. I'd say maybe over 30 songs I've made professionally. Uh, like you go to a professional studio where like I don't know, maybe not really big names like Eminem because he has his own studio, but artists when they're first coming up, um, artists that are like, gaining popularity now. I'm not sure if you know like a lot of hip hop artists, but there's this guy who came out of Patterson, New Jersey, called Fetty Wap. He has one eye, black guy. He has one eye.
Right.
Um, yeah, yeah. He was a lot of people like his music. Um, the song that blew up, it was released for 5 years already before it blew up, and it was just needed time to blow up, I guess, marketing. But uh, one of my best friends used to rap with him at the gas station, just like he was like a local guy. But I recorded a lot of songs in his studio, the studio that he used to use. I recorded there. Um, I had a couple friends that had professional grade mics and headphones, and they used, you know, $1,000 software, and the mic was $5,000, and so yeah, distance from the mic and gain and all that stuff is super important,
Mm.
super
Yeah, yeah,
important.
yeah.
And also, just as an artist, you have to know how to regulate your tone because you set the gain beforehand. But even if I keep this distance, if I start yelling, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah,
Later you're gonna
yeah.
need to edit and do more work. So yeah, yeah, I'm very used to this scene. I did a couple podcasts when I was making music and stuff.
Would
Uh,
you ever want to do your own podcast? Like, no interest in
no,
that. No,
I love talking. I love talking with people
because you
about
love talking. That's why I'm asking. I know you like talking because
yeah.
we walked in here, but we already spent an hour of a good
Yeah.
conversation.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, no, I do love talking with people. I'm definitely very social. Um uh I always find myself having random conversations with people I barely know. And it's fun for me. It's fun for me. Not just as an objective to get to know the other person, but as an objective to see what they think about things.
it's a
Maybe
learning thing.
yeah, maybe if I'm like out with my friends or something, I don't just talk with my friends. Like I like my friends get mad at me because when I get drunk with them, I like to explore. I like to go on my own adventures. And sometimes it's like 2 in the morning and they go, where the fuck did Simon go? Where's Simon? And they call me, they text me, I'm not answering. I'm like, we're all in Manhattan. I'm like in Brooklyn. I'm just riding on the train, talking with the people on the train. You get a slice of pizza. I like talking with the homeless guys. You give them
Right.
some money. You're talking with them, and it's nice getting people's perspectives on life. Just even if you have no um, willingness to continue the relationship or friendship, like beyond just that one conversation, it's nice to get to know people.
You're enjoying the energy from that
Yeah.
conversation,
Oh yeah.
from meeting people,
Yeah.
from learning.
Learning about their life experiences too. I like listening to different stuff like that.
So you like to know what's going on in these people's lives.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, maybe not so much anymore because I'm growing up, becoming more of an adult, and I'm worried much more about my own situation, my own stress, that it affects my willingness to maybe tolerate's the wrong word maybe, but in some certain circumstances, yeah, it decreases my tolerance for listening to maybe something that I don't find important at the time.
Yeah.
It's harder for me to take my own stress out of the situation and just listen to just try to find interest in maybe something other people are saying. um when I'm out. If I'm out, when I was younger, it was like a regular Saturday, but now it's like the first time in 5 months where I go out and I have a drink, so I don't want to talk to other people. I just want to be, with my friends
Of
or
course.
something.
Do you go out much?
Not anymore.
How often?
Uh,
We're talking New
now,
York, right?
yeah, in New York,
New
yeah.
York.
Well, for me, it's like not a journey, but I live maybe like 45 minutes drive from the bars that I used to go to. So, it's like an entire night adventure. And sometimes I don't have that. Sometimes I only have a couple hours, so I'll just sit on my couch and invite my friends over and we'll watch a movie and maybe we'll play some. They have games on Netflix now.
Right.
Yeah, so like maybe we play mini golf game like on Netflix or you know we I really enjoy the games that are like intellectually stimulating. Like maybe not all the time. Sometimes I like to turn off and just play whatever, but I really enjoy Scrabble. Uh and there's this thing on Netflix called Boggle. It's very similar to Scrabble, but it's timed and you can control the time that you set up. But I like doing 6 by 6 tiles. They give you random letters, and then you have 180 seconds to create as many words as possible, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Wow.
I battle. I battle with.
True.
That's
There you
the
go.
yeah. I battle with my friends. With my best friend, especially. I battle with him, um, about finding the most words, and just recently I beat him by 1 word. His record was 60, maybe a couple words. His record was 62, and I just got 65 like 2 days before I came here. So I texted, I
Congratulations.
screenshot, I texted him right away. I said, "Oh, you have to be me now."
What's it like living in New York? You were born there, right?
So New Jersey, but
New Jersey,
it's
sorry.
almost
Is
the
that a
same
big
thing.
mistake, like to say, you're from New York, you live in New
Um,
York?
so
Or should I be every time specific because
yeah,
people
maybe.
take offense? No?
No, I won't take offense, but it's so there is a very big difference. Uh, but it depends where you live. New York, like New York City, like the five boroughs, they're all the same in terms of like, well, maybe a lot of people would actually get mad at me saying they're all the same because they all have different qualities, but they're all more similar to each other than they all are to New Jersey. New Jersey is more suburbs. Um, the area that I live in is like everything that you ever need is like within 10-minute radius
Mm.
drive from where you are. But everything is like driving distance. In New York, everything you need is 5-minute walking distance. So in New York, you can't really park cars anywhere. But I like my freedom to go wherever I want, whenever I want. So New Jersey is like cheaper tax, cheaper gas, cheaper clothes. Everything is cheaper in New Jersey.
Okay.
And I live like 30 minutes away from the city. So when I want to go, it's just 30-minute drive and that's it. So it's nice for me. I like being close to the fun, but not like living in the fun.
Mm.
Because what if I, want to go to sleep, but I can't because it's three in the morning and some guys are walking back to their house and they're throwing up on my doorstep.
All the sounds of sirens and
Yeah,
emergency services and
right.
all that stuff.
Or
We
or
know New
people.
Jersey from Sopranos, of
Hmm.
course. All right. So is that fiction? Are the Sopranos mainly a fiction, or do you
No,
drive around and see those guys sitting in front of the those pizza shops?
not anymore.
Not
Oh, you
anymore.
you still see them sitting in front of the pizza shops, the ones that aren't in jail, but it used to be like exactly like that. Yeah. Sopranos is comedy, but it's more of like a documentary.
A drama, I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
drama, comedy.
Once I watched on YouTube, I watched it was an hour length Sopranos, all the killings, the Sopranos, and I mean, I regret watching that.
Oh yeah,
You
it
know,
ruined
yeah.
it for you.
Oh my, not it was like, dude, disgusting, and I felt disgusted after
Yeah.
that.
Well, it's
So
true.
many killings. I
It's
mean, like
true though.
brutal
Yeah.
killings. So
Yeah, they used to drive up. They didn't care. They used to drive up right next to you, broad daylight, stick a shotgun out the window, blow your head off. They didn't care. They didn't care. They ran the entire state. You know. Nobody could touch them. So they didn't care about anything.
You don't think they exist now?
To an extent, yes, but not as public. No.
Okay.
I mean, there's always going to be organized crime, syndicates, stuff like that, but it's not as public. Before they would kill somebody and then hang out on the person's next door neighbor's doorstep, like the next day, like in broad daylight. They wouldn't care. They'd show their face. They'd walk around with their kids, no bodyguards. They didn't care because they knew that if they were ever touched, that guy's entire family, him, his entire family, his extended family, everybody would be killed. So
Wow.
nobody
Wow.
messed with them.
Um.
And there was a lot of bodies actually. So in high school, I was rowing a lot. There was a lot of bodies that were pulled out of the river that I used to row in all the time.
What was the name of the river?
Hudson.
Hudson River. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hudson
Hudson River, and then after I switched clubs and I went to like a local lake, and that was a lot cleaner and stuff. But people say, Hudson has so much chemicals from companies dumping, bad shit in there, that if it's a joke, like if you fall in, you're gonna come out with three legs, or like
River. All right.
one arm or something like that. And I remember distinctively one of the first days that I started rowing. Um, my coach, to teach me balance, he put me in a single, just me in the boat, and it's the hardest to learn, because when you have other people in the boat, you rely on them for the balance. So in a single, you learn balance the most, and rowing is all about efficiency. So uh, he put me in the single first day. I had no clue what I was doing on the Hudson River, and I go, oh, I don't want to fall in. I don't want to fall in. He goes, oh, you won't fall in. You won't fall in. Then I get out on the water. He goes, you're probably gonna fall in. So
That's a good tactic.
yeah, yeah. So I get out there, and sometimes like the seat when you're rowing slides back and forth, and the seat is on tracks. So sometimes if you're not careful, just like calluses on your hands, your legs can get cut up from the slide if it's sharp. So I remember my leg got a really, really not big, but it was like a deep cut. It made my socks red, like my entire sock was red. And then I got nervous and I fell in.
Okay.
So I didn't just fall in; I fell in with open cut
That was
on
not
my
good.
leg.
That's not good.
No, so freaking out. I'm freaking out. I get back in the boat. He teaches me how to get back in the boat. And then I'm freaking out. And he's like, relax, calm down. Uh, um, you're done for the day, but I'm not gonna tow you back because he's following in a speedboat. He goes, I'm not gonna tow you back. You have to row back. I fell in like three more times, going back to the docks, and that was my first day.
That was your first day. Wow.
Yeah, and I remember I got back to the car. My mom picked me up. She goes, "What the heck? What happened to you? My leg is like my entire sock. It comes up all the way to my calf. The
Mm.
entire thing was red." She's like, "What happened? What happened?" I said, "I got cut. I fell in." Um, but even though my mom is like a regular mom, she's always worried, making a big deal about getting hurt and stuff like that. She never she never allowed me to quit things that I started.
That's good. Of course.
So yeah, and also I understand because she probably paid in full for the whole season. She wasn't about to let me quit on the first day.
Yeah, they've got a good strategy. You pay up
Yeah,
for the year, and then if you show up, you show up. If you don't,
but it also taught me how to keep my word. So
in jiu-jitsu, very similar to what you're saying. You don't want to train with an open cut,
yeah,
right?
because you're sweating and transferring germs.
Because you got all the germs and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I have a question because I know when I first met you, I made some jokes about jujitsu. First of all, I love martial arts, all of them. Um, but uh, are the mats really that wet, like with sweat, or do you guys like dry them in between the rounds? Because I've seen videos where they're slipping and sliding, it's like soaking wet with sweat.
Yeah, but you clean them after the workout.
Oh,
Clean
okay.
them after the workout, and it wouldn't be practical to clean it as we go. Normally, how it happens is that let's say tonight we have a training session at 8.
Mhm.
Um, we do here in this club here in Šibenik. It's pretty full on because we do an hour of drilling.
Mhm.
Different scenarios. We usually start on foot, standing, and you got different techniques from wrestling, from jiu-jitsu, from judo,
Yeah.
depending on the day.
Mhm.
Depending on the coach.
What's the difference between jujitsu and
Not much, not much. Judo is more leaning towards so
slams?
the judo is a
Stuff?
sport. Judo is a
Mhm.
sport is like throwing.
Yeah, throwing,
You're
throwing.
throwing.
Right, right.
Where jujitsu, if you talk about jujitsu as a Japanese jujitsu, you got everything in there.
Jujitsu is
Everything.
Japanese?
Jiu-Jitsu Japanese, yeah,
Oh wow.
absolutely, yeah. But then you got Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is mainly focusing on the ground, if you fall down, when you fall down on the ground.
Yeah.
But Jiu-Jitsu is everything, right? Throwing, wrist locks, on the ground, everything, you name it,
Yeah.
leg locks.
Yeah. No, that's a wonderful thing to be proud of. I mean,
Mm.
some people may love it, but maybe they don't have the consistency or whatever, or maybe they're just not their body is not attuned to the movements, and they quit or they stop at white belt, and they never
Yeah, look,
surpass.
people quit for all sorts of reasons. I
Yeah.
recently spoke to a guy that, he sort of he was telling me that he hasn't trained in a while, and
Mm-hmm.
this guy's been training for 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
and it's okay to take a little break from training.
Yeah.
I take breaks every year.
Yeah.
I'm on a break now. I haven't been training for maybe a month, maybe even 5 6 weeks. And now I'm this Wednesday, or actually tomorrow, I'm gonna go. And it's good. It's good to have a break.
Yeah.
That's what people make mistake when they when they set a goal. All right, I'm gonna train now. I'm never gonna take a break. When you don't take breaks, you get injured.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
your body needs to relax.
Yeah. When I was a kid, um, before when I was like, I don't know, um, 7 or 8, before rowing, before I got older and more mature, my parents would let me quit things, and um, I took piano lessons, I took karate, and I quit because I hated repetition of the basics. After I felt like I got it, we kept doing it, kept doing it, kept doing it, and I understand why. When as I got older, but at the time I was like, I hate doing this same punch. When you're holding like this same thing
That's
every
the
single time.
Look, that is the problem. I had the same experience with. I used to train Taekwondo, and it's the way it is.
Yeah, it's the
And
foundation.
you meant to stick around and progress, right?
Yeah,
But you can be boring. You can
yeah,
be boring.
yeah.
That one punch. All of that stuff.
Hmm.
So jiu-jitsu is, in my opinion, the best fighting system and best martial art to
Really?
get involved with because it's interesting
Even over Muay Thai?
because you never do empty
Yeah.
punches. You never do that.
I've been so interested in Muay Thai. I was thinking about taking classes for it, but then my friend who does Muay Thai, he goes, maybe it's like more advanced. He's like, maybe you should do like kickboxing or something first. And that's why I mentioned it when we were having coffee, because he's like, kickboxing is like intermediary course to Muay Thai. Muay Thai is
Yeah.
like very, very intense.
Look, Muay Thai is excellent. I love it. I love it. I never had an opportunity to train. I think I will go to Thailand and spend a month at some point in
Yeah.
my life. Kickboxing, I trained boxing for 3 years,
Hmm.
um, in addition to jiu-jitsu, right? But my strategy was I wanted to learn how they move and what to look for, so I can be better prepared in training people in a self-defense way
Hmm.
when I train them jiu-jitsu, right? Because what I do here in this city is I'm training people in a self-defense way.
Yeah.
So it's not a sports. It's not sports. I run a school, so
Yeah.
it's a school. School is meant to educate you and how to
Hmm.
behave. So you know what we talked about before when we had a coffee is when you were telling me you want to you want to know how to defend yourself and someone else if if someone does this and that. That's exactly what I do. I'll run trainings, scenario based trainings.
Hmm.
So I run these private classes at the moment for people, and that's exactly what people go. All right, I ask them, all right, or I tell them, all right, ask me a question. What are you uncomfortable with? And then they go, oh, I'm comfortable with this. If this happens, what should I do? And then we go through scenarios how to
Hmm.
do it because I've got a lot of experience in dealing with. I used to work in the security services, internal security services for a big corporation. And I was a trainer instructor. So I trained a lot of people in how to actually do that for a job.
Hmm. Hmm.
And we go back to what I said to you back in the cafe. If you can walk, you walk. If
Yeah.
you can remove yourself, you remove yourself. But then you said, but you want to know what happens. What do you do
Hmm.
if you can't leave?
If it's
But that's
just me,
exactly.
if it's just me, most of the time you can run. But what I'm worried about as I start as I start getting older and I want children, what I worry about is what happens if there's an imminent threat to them and I need to stop it. It doesn't even have to be a person. Like let's say a dog comes up, rabid dog comes up and tries to
Choke the dog.
clamps their jaws on my daughter's arm.
You got to choke the dog.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
got to choke it.
My wife gets mad at me because
You're married.
I am,
You're
yeah,
married.
3 years, 3
How
years.
old are you?
I'm 30.
You're 30.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you were younger.
No, I got married when I was how old was I? 2023 in July. I was 28. I was 28. Um uh my wife, she loves animals. She she her dream was to be a veterinarian. She loves animals. Or she said that she uh didn't like the classes to become a veterinarian, so she didn't pursue that. But she said that if you can make money rescuing them or having a conservation for them, that she would do that. But there's literally no money in that. That's like after you already make all your money in life, then you pour all of your money into that.
Mm.
It doesn't really make money. But she loves animals, and I talk to her sometimes about like, oh, what would happen if you know dog came up and bit our dog, and she goes, oh, I would try my best to get our dog into safety. I'm like, yeah, but how? And she never wants to say her answer. And I'm very open about these things because as men, we
You got to know how.
sometimes we think about crazy situations of things that may probably will never happen, but what how will you act to protect your family? And I tell her all the time, you have to choke them, uh, or you go for the eyes. You go for their eyes, they're gonna go like this. That's it.
Yep,
uh, you
I
know,
agree.
and also, even with people, if you think your life is at risk and you don't have the means to defend yourself, who cares about being manly or something like that? You bite them, you crush the balls, you crush the eyes. It's your life. It's your life.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what people are gonna do to you.
Yeah.
What people are gonna do to you if you try to use some jujitsu techniques that are
Exposing.
more appropriate for sports.
Yeah.
If,
Yeah.
if we're doing sports, then both of us are training, and we agree. We're not gonna crush balls. We're not gonna bite. We're not gonna
Right.
eye gouge. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what you're talking about,
I got. Yep.
right? We're gonna choke and we're gonna try to break, but then you got tapping.
Yeah.
You tap a few times and
Yeah.
then I'll let you go, right? And then we reset and we move on.
Yeah.
But in real life, you try to do an armbar on the street.
Yeah.
You know how an armbar looks,
Yes.
right?
Yes. They're gonna bite your leg.
They're gonna bite your leg,
Yeah.
and when they bite your leg, what are you gonna do?
Right.
So don't do it.
Right.
That's what
Right.
I'm
You're
saying.
gonna let go of their arm, and then you're gonna
What I'm saying is, don't do an armbar.
Right, right,
You know, don't
right,
even go there.
right.
There's
Rear
and
naked
that's
choke always works.
absolutely get to the back,
You get under their chin and it's over.
get to the back, get under their chin, choke him,
Yeah,
but choke him safely. I was
yeah. Like don't crush the windpipe. You know,
but you're not going to
the
crush the
arteries.
windpipe, but
You
it's
need to
like
cut off the
unless you
arteries.
want to.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, like I had a guy at the private lesson the other day, and we were talking exactly about this. And you know, the important bit is once you choke him, you need to put him down to the ground safely, right?
Yes.
And that's
You
a
can't
part
let
of
their head hit the ground. That's murder.
absolutely,
Yeah.
and that's the part of my training. You know, I go through from the start of the incident to the end. You know, and it's the end is really important, so you don't end up in jail.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because if you choke someone out, then you got a duty of care towards them.
Mhm.
You need to look after them in other
Yeah,
words,
you gotta
right?
pick their legs up. You gotta make sure they wake back up.
You need to put them on the side. You know
Yeah.
that position, like a baby position,
Yes.
where you know one of their arms forward, so their head is not leaning too much.
They don't
And
choke
you
on
need
their
to,
tongue.
yeah, absolutely. You need to look at where the tongue is, and you know, because otherwise they're going to choke on their tongue, right? And
Yeah.
then you end up in
And
prison,
then
right?
it's murder. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, it's a big deal. Even just one punch. Sometimes you knock somebody out on concrete,
yeah.
they fall, hit their head, and it's over. You go to jail.
And that's now we go back to kickboxing, right? What you train is what you're going to do
Yeah.
in a situation, in a self-defense situation. Do you want to be the guy that trains punching, or do you want to be the guy that trains choking?
Yeah. No.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's a good question, right?
Yeah. So I feel like punching is maybe more practical. Maybe.
You
You
need to
know,
know how to punch.
because
You
you
can
know.
break your arm
Yeah.
with punching,
Yeah.
right? You need to really know how to punch. We're talking about bare knuckle punching, right? You need to know how to punch him. If you need to punch someone, I would recommend using your palm, right?
Mhm.
This area here
Right.
of the palm. I think it's
Like
not picking me
like
up.
a slap, or like you mean like a upwards kind of like,
Yeah,
you know.
you can hit with this
Yeah. Yeah.
as good as with your knuckle.
What about elbows?
And you can use elbows.
Elbows are
Elbows are good. Elbows
deadly.
will cut you. Yeah,
Oh,
elbows
they're
will cut you.
deadly.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of like UFC when I was growing up and stuff like that. And I remember watching, I'll never forget it. I remember watching this one guy, he was in a rear naked choke. And he was in a rear naked choke, and he had his legs wrapped around the guy. He wasn't tapping. So he let go of the choke and he starts elbowing him in the face. And that was like shocking to me. It bothered me. But you know, in a real situation, let's say you're choking somebody who has a knife, he's swinging around the knife, he's not stopping when you're choking him. You're just gonna let him stab you in the face. I mean, the elbows is it'll neutralize him right away. But you know that those can be deadly too. You can give somebody permanent brain damage by elbowing them in the head. You have to be careful.
You know, when someone's got a knife, it's a completely different story.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I would advise running
Yeah, I agree.
in every
agree.
situation.
Knife,
The
gun.
problem is when
Yeah.
you can't leave the room. If we're standing on this balcony and that's the way out,
Yeah.
and the attacker comes at us from that point,
Yeah.
then we got to do something to stop the attack. Grab grab the
microphone.
microphone, grab the chair,
Yeah.
grab the whatever you can
Yeah.
to distract him,
Yeah.
and then run away.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Tackling someone or trying to use self-defense on a guy with a knife
Yeah.
is a very bad idea.
Yeah.
And I would never say to anyone, okay, use this, try to use this. I mean, there are techniques that you can do, but oh my god, so you're gonna get cut.
Yeah. Oh,
Absolutely, you're gonna get cut.
Yeah.
So you know, how you gonna get cut? You don't know.
Yeah.
Is he gonna cut your
Arteries.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, the scariest thing for me is like you know, when people get shot, like sometimes you can get shot like 10 times and survive. Or sometimes you get shot one time in the leg, it hits your femoral artery, and that's it. You're dead. It doesn't even matter if you get shot in the femoral artery in the hospital. There's no way to save you. You're gonna bleed out and die right away. You have to be like damn near on the table already when you're shot to still be saved.
If
I
it's
mean,
your
it's
time,
crazy.
it's time.
Yeah.
It's time to go.
Yeah, it's crazy. Some people die from one shot, and some people like I know it's a crazy segue, but I remember reading about this guy, Japanese guy. He survived both nuclear bombs, both attacks. What got hit first? Hiroshima. I think Hiroshima got hit first. So he was in Hiroshima when the bombs dropped. When the bomb dropped, and then he fled on a train to Nagasaki,
Right.
and then the bomb dropped in Nagasaki. But he survived. He
He
survived that
survived
time.
both.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure if he's still alive, but he lived a long life after that. He didn't die like a week later. He lived a long time after. So, you know, people get struck by lightning and they survive, and some people get knocked out in a bar fight and they hit their head and die. My friend just told me. I don't understand why he asked me, but the other day he asked me if I've ever seen anybody die in person. I told him no, and he told me that there was a time where he was at a bar and he remembers seeing this lady dancing. Uh, I don't know. Maybe she was part of a bachelorette party or something. She looked like a mom or something. And she got up from the bar stool to dance. She slipped on a drink that was spilled on the ground, fell back, hit the bar on the back of her head, died right there in the bar. Yeah. It's like I remember hitting my head a bunch of times when I was a kid, and I never died.
Yeah.
It's testament to what you said before. When it's time, it's time. Yeah, I'm not sure if you could change that.
You probably can't.
Yeah,
Yeah, you probably can't.
and then it begs the question: is there really free will? If what you said is true, if it's already predestined for you to make have certain actions occur or make certain decisions or die at a certain time, do we really have the freedom to choose?
Maybe it's all simulation. What do you
maybe,
think about that?
maybe I've heard that. I've heard that that theory as well. Glitches in the matrix. I've heard that theory. I don't know if I believe it, but it's a theory out there. Do you believe that?
I don't know. I don't know what to believe. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Honestly,
If it's a simulation, you think that we're all connected by tubes and sleeping, or do you think we're in a massive like like futuristic training facility where they can simulate the sky and stuff, and the training facility is the size of the world?
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what's going on. What I'm trying to do lately is I'm trying to become as self-aware as possible,
Mm.
and not to think about those things. It is
Yeah.
what it is.
Of what's enticing a lot of the kids these days is the fact that you can get rich off of it now. Like when I was a kid, like YouTube was just becoming popular. People weren't really making money. You had played video games because it was fun. But now it's like you can stream, you can make YouTube videos.
It's hard to make money. It's hard. It's hard. I know.
Yeah, anything is hard. Yeah,
He's got about 5,000 subscribers.
oh,
He
that's
was
awesome.
making videos, gaming
On
videos,
Twitch.
everything. We're
What
doing
does he
everything,
use?
everything. YouTube, Twitch,
Nice.
and yeah,
Yeah, it's a lot. That's a
nothing
lot.
came out of it. But he stopped. He stopped doing it. He stopped. He stopped doing it. That's the problem.
Mm.
Him and his sister were doing news, like
Mm.
Fortnite news. All
Mm-hmm.
sorts of stuff were
Mm-hmm.
doing it. And then he stopped. He stopped it. And then but you need to, you need to keep doing it.
The thing about that with creative stuff is when you get to a certain point, even if you're not famous, it's at least for me, it's like you have an obligation to your fan base to keep going, even if you feel like you don't want to do it. Maybe you take a break, maybe you don't
Yeah.
post every day, maybe you post once a week now, but you keep going.
But the problem
'Cause you
is the issue here is that because he's a kid,
Yeah.
we had the comments off,
Mm.
and then when you don't have an engagement with your with people that follow you, then it's
Yeah.
not really happening. Right?
Yeah, but
You need to leave those comments on.
you don't want those comments on
I
when
know.
he's a kid,
I know.
because there are some sick people out
I know. He was streaming and he would never see the comments, but I would.
there.
I set it up so I can see the comments, and I got in some deep arguments with people, like
Yeah.
raging from my side.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking, how can you?
Yeah.
Like you know, it's back in those days he was 10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
10 years old.
Yeah. There's sick people out there.
You know, and then people criticizing or whatever. I mean, who's asking you your opinion? I mean,
Well,
who
what's
put you?
what's even worse is the people that have sexual enjoyment from it. You know, because you
I've never,
can't.
I never had issues with people like that, but it was
Yeah.
mainly people criticizing, like stop playing, stop doing it.
Yeah.
Like people telling you, like if someone was telling you to, stop making music, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
suck, you suck, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, why?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why,
Yeah.
why
Why?
would you?
Just don't say anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why would you say that? If you don't like it, just move on. Find
Yeah.
something that you like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I encountered those people all the time. You know, everybody does. But uh uh you know, regarding the really sick people out there, like that's why my wife, she said when we have kids, she's not posting the kids on the internet because um I don't think either of our pages are public.
Mm.
Like you have to follow us and I have to accept the follower for you to see my pictures. But you know, you never know. You never know. They say majority of sexual assaults are done by people that know you, by your family,
Yeah, I've heard about
and
that.
at least in America. So like, you know, uh, maybe maybe you don't know something about somebody that you've known for years, and you start posting your kid on the internet, and now they're
Yeah, but
getting
that's your
some sort of
family. You're talking
enjoyment.
about two different things. So you're talking about majority of stuff happens within the family,
Yeah,
uncles, this and that,
yeah,
stupid
uncles, yeah,
stuff, and that the internet
right.
will probably not have any influence and any influence to that.
Oh no,
On
no,
the
yeah,
internet, you don't want to leave your kids to engage
that too.
with people on the internet.
Yeah,
That is the problem.
yeah.
So when they're playing games, or like now he's playing games.
They say there's a lot of sexual predators on Roblox. They try to get
Yeah,
their
there are. Yeah,
location and stuff like
yeah,
that, and
there
then
are.
they
But
come.
his doors are always open, and
Mm,
I listen.
yeah,
I listen to what's happening, and
yeah,
sometimes I hear some. Normally there's kids. I hear kids playing.
mm.
Sometimes if there's anything other than kids,
Well, you know,
I'm there straight away. What's
they
happening? Who's that? And
they
then he
have
goes, oh, that's this guy. Well, yeah, I got just
yeah, they have voice changers now.
yeah,
Make you sound like a little girl.
yeah.
It's gross.
But he's not allowed to play it with anyone that he doesn't know,
Good,
or his
good.
friend. He has to be friends of a friend,
Yeah,
friend of a friend, whatever. But he knows. He knows now.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
they're very the kids are very vigilant.
yeah.
These days. They know.
But also, you know, I remember when I was a kid. You know, you don't realize sometimes they're asking questions that you think are innocent, but they're not. You know, or like it's like trying asking you a bunch of questions to get information where you live. I remember there was something like that when I was a kid. I was using it was called AIM uh or AOL or something like
Yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
chat room. And I remember there was a couple people that were asking me like where I lived. And as a kid, you know, it's like this person, you don't know them in real life, but like, you know, you're having friends with them, you're online friends with them, you're talking to them every day, and then maybe after a week they ask you questions like that. And as a kid, you're just like, "Oh, you know, where do you live?" And then they say, you know, "Oh, I asked you first." So then you say where you live, and then just by coincidence, they say, "Oh, I live close by. Oh, I live in the next town
Mm.
over." So then you start like getting a um, basis, a foundation of friendship from that, from the similarity. And then they ask you, "Oh, well, what grade are you in? What school do you go to?" Oh, nice. So now they know what time, where you're gonna be, what time you're gonna be there. It's dangerous.
Mm.
Dangerous. I remember my mom saw that and she was like, "Oh, you can't talk to this person anymore." And I was like, "What? Why not? This is my friend. This is my friend."
Yeah.
She's like, "Nah, this is like a grown man." Like she could tell how he was putting the sentences together. This was not a
Yeah.
kid.
When you're young at that age, you want to have friends. You
Mm.
you uh you, you have the need to have friends. I know my daughter. She's always talking about her friends. Her friends. My friend this, my friend that. And I always used to say they're not your friend. They're people. People. Forget
Yeah,
about this friend fantasy. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
maybe a little bit harsh.
whatever.
Tell me about your music, my man. Tell me about your music because
Mm.
you mentioned that you had some experience in producing music, recording music.
Yeah. Well, I started by like trying to make my own
What kind of
beats and
music you
stuff.
trying to make?
Mainly hip hop.
Hip hop, right?
Mainly hip hop. Yeah. A lot of my friends um were interested in that. A lot of the music that I was listening to in high school was like that too. I remember one of my very good friends, still to this day. I met him my freshman year in high school, um, and um, I have a very like joking personality, and sometimes, when I was younger, I would make jokes that are on a border or whatever of like not being insulting, but like maybe jokes that you wouldn't say to somebody that you don't know.
Mm.
So like I remember making fun of him in a joking way, like not as a serious thing, but I remember making fun of him for freestyle rapping, because he'd do it all the time at the lunch table, and I sat at a different table. But then when I sat with him at his table, um, he would do it all the time, and I'd be joking with him like, "Oh, you're a rapper. Oh, you're a rapper. Oh, you think you're good? Blah blah." But he actually was really good. Like I knew that the whole time. It's just, you know, when
You
you're
ever had
kids, you make
rap
fun of each
battles with
other.
him?
No, not battles,
No,
because he would roast me alive.
he would roast you, right?
Yeah. I remember sometimes I would make fun of him, and then he would look at me, and he would start rapping at me and make fun of like my clothes I'm wearing or something, whatever it is.
Mm.
And we became friends that way by making fun of each other. And uh, it took a few years of hanging out with him, but then he got me to the point where he's like, bro, it doesn't matter if you're good, it doesn't matter if you're bad. Just relax, feel the energy of the music, and just try it. And I was like, nah, like that's lame. I'm not gonna do that. And then I just like gave in, and I was like, you know what, screw it, like I'll try. And it really is a practice thing.
Mm.
I mean, you have to be good with vocabulary, thinking quickly, um, but it is a practice thing because I had the same vocabulary beforehand that I did afterwards. But being able to think about your next sentence while you're still saying the first sentence is a skill. You do need to train that. But once you can figure out what words rhyme together and stuff like that, I remember going crazy and saying like crazy
You're
things
talking
like
about
everybody.
freestyling, right? Like a free.
Yeah,
It's
like
like
it's not written.
it's
It's
not
just
written. It's like it's just coming out.
just off the top of your head.
Have you ever
I'm
thought
not
about
gonna freestyle now. It's
ever
been a
thought
long time since I ever since I've tried it.
you ever
But
talk about ever thought about comedy, like trying to
no, I was never
joking?
really much of a comedian.
No.
I always made jokes and stuff, but I was never really much of a comedian. But uh yeah, I loved like freestyling.
So do you ever go to clubs and like now in comedy there's open mics and
Mm.
you can go and challenge yourself in front of the public.
Yeah, I did that a lot actually. I met this kid through music that he was hosting events, and what he was doing is he was getting artists on the poster, not like famous artists, just like local people, and those local people would pay for a slot to rap. It was maybe like 20 minutes. Some people would be singing, some people doing country, and I told him he brought me on board and then we were doing it together and I said how about if we start a open mic like beforehand maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour of just people that are coming in to sign up to do one song or two songs, something very short, and that took off. Now he does open mics every single show, and and those people are the ones that pay the most. I mean, it's just $5 to to do a song or whatever, but some people will be like, oh, the list is full. I'll pay $20 to. Some people are willing to pay more just to. We had a big following. I can show you some videos. We had people crowd surfing at
Mm.
the shows. Like it got crazy sometimes. It got really like if your song was good, you know, and of course at those shows, there's drugs, like people are smoking weed. Everybody is like one energy, in the crowd. If everybody is moving right, you're moving right too.
Mm.
Everybody's bobbing together. So the you just feed off everybody's energy, and it gets rowdy. It gets, nobody ever got hurt, but it was a lot of fun when I do those
Oh,
shows.
you make any money out of it? Out of that?
Not much. Like maybe it was like $200 to book the venue, and maybe we would make like 400, so 100 each. But that's
So what do you do for a living?
we do it for the culture, for the fun of it. But when I was doing music, I was serving. I was waiter in restaurants.
Mm.
Um,
And
and
now?
and then I worked for a wedding DJ, setting up and breaking down his equipment, and at the same time, I was moving furniture for a movie.
Is that what you do now?
No, 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 no. As I got older and I started straying away from creative energy, making music and stuff like that, I found that hospitality wasn't something I wanted to do. I like talking. Sorry. I like talking with people. I like the social aspect of it, but
Mm.
I don't like working weekends, holidays. I like being with my family during those times. And restaurants, hotels, resorts, everything, those are the most important days to work. So I wasn't willing to dedicate my life to that. And also in America, it takes like 10 or 15 years to make more than 100 grand. And in New Jersey, New York, 100 grand is like damn near poor.
Mm.
You're not poor, but you can maybe afford an apartment, but you can't afford a house. So I didn't want to live that life. And my father, he always wanted me to work with him, doing surveying and engineering. But I felt like I was more creative, more of the arts type of person when I was younger. So I wasn't interested in that, doing all the math, doing all that stuff. Although I am definitely an amalgamation of both my mother and my father. My mother has a lot of artists in the family, painters, musicians, and my father is very mathematical and introspective, and engineering, science, those things. As you know, he built a dune buggy and a motorcycle when he was like 16 years old. So I have both of those things in me. And even in high school, I enjoyed math a lot and stuff like that. So I started working for him, and took a liking to it, and I've been there 8 years now. So
Okay, so you're doing surveying.
yes, yes,
Nice.
and making much better money than I'd ever make at a hotel.
Yeah, of
I
course.
would have to own the hotel to be
Did
making
you
what
go
I'm
to
making
school?
now.
Did you go to school for
I'm in
surveying?
school right now for it.
Are you
I
in school?
start on Monday. Yeah, next Monday I start school again.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that a university or a trade school or what is it?
yeah. University, 4 year degree.
Wait degree. And
Yeah,
you're in year what? Year first year, second?
second year.
Oh, second.
But technically I'm a little bit later because I already went to college once, so they
Mm.
accepted all of those, courses.
Mm.
But it's a traditional 4 year degree, and I need it because in New Jersey, to become licensed surveyor, you need a 4 year degree. In New York, you don't need a degree, you just need experience or a degree.
Mm.
But New Jersey, you have to have the degree. So if I ever want to have my own company, surveying company, when I get older, um, I need a license. So
But you know the job already, so it's easier.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but there's multiple facets to the job. There's office work, which is like computer aided design, and creating the blueprints and the drawings. You need to sign off on everything and put your name and your reputation on it. And then there's the field work, which is hammering in the nails, showing them where to build, reading the drawings, knowing how to do the calculations in the field. But it's a little bit different.
Mm.
So
Good.
yeah. So now, while I'm doing the field work and trying to start a family and renovating my house and trying to also have fun all at the same time and enjoy life, I'm also in school. So it's a lot right
And now you're in Croatia.
now. Yeah.
How
Loving it.
how's that working?
Living life.
You're living life in Croatia, enjoying yourself,
Hmm.
chilling.
Yeah.
How do you find Croatia?
I love it. I love it so much. And burn the hell out of this cigarette. I love it so much. I've been coming here my whole life. Ever since I was a kid. My father's always bringing me here. Well, my mom too, and my mom loves it. She considers herself honorary Croatian because she was married to my dad for 17 years, and she loves Croatia just
What
as much.
nationality is mom?
She's Venezuelan and Filipino.
Oh,
Yeah, she
okay.
was born in New York. Um, and yeah, we've been coming here. I've been here maybe I think 8 times now, maybe more than that, maybe 10 times I've been here, 10 different vacations. Um, I love it. I think the sea, the quality, the clarity of the water is really what makes this place special. You know, because when you go into town, I would say it's very similar to other European countries, like Italy. You have the terracotta roofs.
Mm.
You know, uh, a lot of the architecture is the similar or same. Um, you have cities where it looks similar to New York. You have Milan in Italy. You have Germany. They're all quite similar to each other. They have their own cultural differences, but even Greece too. The Greek cities are very similar in a lot of senses. So I think the most important thing that differentiates these places from Croatia is the water. It's so beautiful, you can't beat it. I've been to Caribbean, multiple islands in the Caribbean. I've been in
Mm.
Turks and Caicos, Aruba, Saint Lucia. It's not the same.
I've been to Greece last year and I loved it. Loved
Mm.
it. Lefkada. And I think I'm going to go very soon again. I loved it. The water is no fault. I couldn't
Yeah,
find any fault there. Everything's
yeah,
great. Food is great. The water, I mean, the sea, excellent, excellent. Everything was great. The sunsets were amazing.
yeah. I've also been to Japan. I've been to different places in the United States, and I've never been to Greece though. I want to experience Greek water. Um, but yeah, I mean, I love in Croatia. I remember. I'll never forget this. Even if I get Alzheimer's, knock on wood, I hope I never get it. But even if I get it when I'm old and gray, I feel like one of the only things I'm gonna remember is when I was a kid on the boat with my father, and I'm looking over the edge, uh, and we're right here on the island, and I'm looking over the edge, and I see the shadow of the boat on the bottom of the seafloor,
Mm.
and then I jump in, and with my goggles, I look down. I'm trying to swim to the bottom. I can't even reach the bottom. It's that far down. Then I get back on the boat. I look in, and it looks like glass. You can see everything on the ocean floor.
Mm.
Ah, it feels like the boat is floating. You're looking at the shadow as you're driving. It feels like you're floating.
Mm.
I mean, that's
Yeah, that's nice. How long are you
breath,
staying here?
breathtaking, breathtaking.
How long are you here for?
Um, well, I got here on 12th, I think.
It's a few. Yeah, oh, actually, a week ago. So.
Yeah, I
Oh.
got I got here last Thursday. I
Mm.
got here, and then we're leaving to go to Zagreb tomorrow, and then I fly home on Friday, because I have a wedding on Sunday. I have to drive 5 hours away to get to the wedding.
Okay.
So yeah, but I needed to be here. It's not even a want. I needed to be here because I lost my dieda earlier last month in
Mm.
June. I came here for the funeral. Um, and I needed to be here now for my baka because she's having this surgery, and can't leave her alone. I want her to be with family, when she goes in, so she knows we're here for her. So, um, yeah, usually I come here for longer, though,
Mm.
2 to 3 weeks. That's like the minimum.
Have you and your brother went? Have you gone clubbing? Have you gone clubbing at all? Have you been to Split, Trogir? No?
Yes, both. Yeah.
Oh, you went. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I've been to Trogir once with my wife 3 years ago. We went on a boat tour over there. And then I've been to Split 4 times now. Um, but I've only gone clubbing once. I went clubbing the other day with my brother. He just turned 21, so I wanted to show him what Split clubbing was like, and it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun.
Where'd you go?
The first place we went to was called Boiler, and then don't even ask me the name of the second place. By that point, I wasn't looking at the
Yeah.
name, you know.
How was what was it like in the old boiler?
So Boiler, it reminded me of a lot of New York City bars because it's like multiple floors, um, but it wasn't that packed, and they had a tape in front of the upper floor, so we couldn't go up there. But I'm used to New York City, three floors, rooftop bars. Every floor is playing different music, you know, stuff like that, and I'm used to it being packed. So we went to Boiler, and it was like 85% guys. So my brother was like, "What are we doing here?" You know?
Sausage party.
Yeah. So I said, "Okay, let's leave," and then we went to this other spot, and I went to go ask for a lighter, smoke a cigarette, and when I came back, he's talking to like three girls. So I'm like, "Okay, let me smoke this cigarette over here,"
Mm.
and just kind of watch him for a little bit. See how his game is. I didn't want to interrupt anything. But then I went over and it was nice. It was nice. I wouldn't say he has as much game as I used to have, but he's getting there. He's getting there.
Right. So he's progressing in your opinion.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
His game is getting there. That's good.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter his game because he's he inherited my good looks. So you don't really need game.
You don't
You
need
need
game.
it, but you don't need like
You
really
don't need
good.
game when you have good looks.
That's right. That's right.
Is that that's the thing.
That's right. You don't need good game. Like you could be
I
shit.
think you need a game, dude. Yeah,
No.
that's my opinion. I think you need a game. Good looks
You
is
can't
not enough.
you can't be awkward. But if you have like shit game, but the girl
Just shut
really
up.
likes how you
Yeah.
look, just shut up.
Just
You
shut
know?
up. Yeah.
And you could still you know, do get to whatever goal you want to get to for the night.
Right.
So um no, but yeah, but now I'm fat and old. According to my brother, I'm fat and old. So no more and also I'm married, so there's no game anymore. Like that's my choice, but you know, even if I wasn't married, I'm fat and old. So he told me later in the night, he told me that before I even walked up to him and was talking with the girls, he told the girls that he has a 30-year-old brother that's married.
Mm.
Why are you telling the girls that your brother's 9 years older than you? It's like it kind of brings the connotation, oh, you have like a parent with you for the night.
I don't know.
So it's like I
He's
was like,
talking too much. That's what.
yeah.
That's what it
I was
means.
like, bro,
It's me.
why are you talking about me? You gotta ask them about what they're doing. How old they are.
Means
What they're doing.
he's talking too much. He's nervous
Yeah.
and he's disclosing
Yeah.
confidential
He's
information
saying our address
to the enemy.
right.
He's talking to the enemy.
Yeah.
Giving them too much information. So
Yeah.
it's all right. He's gonna learn. He's gonna
Yeah.
learn. He's 21, and yeah.
Yeah.
Where is he now?
He was feeling a little bit sick. Yesterday I told him to text me.
What are you thinking? How's life? How's life for you? Mentally. You're
Stressful.
this stressful, yeah. Why is that?
Besides the obvious things of just juggling so many things at the same time, I tend to do that to myself. Also, by the way, I take on a lot of small things, small stresses at the same time, and then it builds up, and then I get really stressed out. But uh, I do it to myself on purpose.
You're
That makes
punishing
sense.
yourself or something.
Not punishment. It's training myself for the point in time where I can't choose and it's just happening. Like similar to like my coworkers who are 50 years old and they're telling me, I'm telling them about my stresses, all the things I'm going through, and they're saying, yeah, okay, try doing all of that, but now you have kids on top of it,
Mm.
or yeah, try all of that, but now you're paying for your kids' college tuition at the same time, you know. So I think about that a lot and I put it into perspective and it helps me mediate my own stress because I think to myself, wow, I really don't have it that bad.
No,
You
you
know?
do. You definitely don't have it
No,
that bad. No.
no, I don't.
No.
But it is stressful when you're in it and you're only getting 3 hours of sleep every night for 6 months. You know, you're working every single day, getting home at 6 o'clock, going straight into the basement, no eating, and screwing in the sheetrock on the walls, painting, spackling until 1 in the morning, and then going to sleep, getting up at 4:30, and going to work. Or sometimes I'm not even coming home. Last summer I did that.
Well, you
Last
need
summer,
sleep. That's it.
yeah,
That is the problem. You need to manage that,
yeah,
right? You can't just you can't. As you get older, sleep becomes more valuable.
yeah,
It's a valuable tool. You can't disregard that, right?
yeah,
You have
yeah.
to manage sleep.
Hmm.
So you have to go. All right, I need to sleep 7 hours every day,
Yeah,
and that's it. And
yeah.
make sure you sleep 7 hours every day, and
I
then
was
you'll be
uh,
fine.
I was doing that because I had goals for the renovations, and I wanted to finish them in time for whatever goal I had, and I was working all the time. A couple 2 summers ago, like that, I was literally going to work 7 a.m. and then coming home at 3, and then sleeping for like maybe 4 hours, and then leaving the house at 7 p.m. and going to work at 8, and working from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m., sleeping in my car 2 hours, and then going to work again
How
at
about
7.
now? Do you you got a more relaxed lifestyle now?
No, I try to work as much as possible because I want as much money as possible to for not just for myself, not for selfish things, but for investments, for retirement, for children. I have like 4 different investment accounts, like uh playing the stock market, or Roth IRAs, college accounts for future kids. I'm thinking about all that stuff.
Have you bought a house yet?
I bought a house 6 months before I got married.
And
So
that was
so
like
I've had one
how old?
3 years. I've had one house for 3 years, and I just finished renovating it last summer. Spent 2 years. I did a lot.
So you bought a house at 27.
Yeah, 27. Or right before my 28th birthday. I closed in February 21st, and I turned 28 in March. But I was looking for 9 months. I was offering $100,000 over asking, and I still wasn't getting chosen because, for some reason, even though the bank is going to give them their money anyway, they were choosing the people putting 20% down payment instead of me. I can only afford 5% down payment,
Hmm.
so I didn't have 200 grand saved up.
How much was the house?
I was about 600, but it was the shittiest house in the nicest neighborhood. And that's my mom was a realtor for a little bit, and that's what she would tell me, because even if you're not doing anything to the house, it's always going to go up in value because your neighbors are millionaires or whatever. So when I bought my house, I looked for the cheapest house in the area, and I found it. It was sold. I bought it for 630,000, and every single other house within a mile of me was over 1 million at the time. So, um, I put money into renovating it, and I got a lot of help from my my wife's parents. Um, they're traditional Chinese and Peruvian, so they felt bad. Uh, I did not marry my wife for the money that she had or can have or whatever. I married her because I loved her, but they felt bad that I just bought a house and it was all my money and none of hers. And I told her, don't worry about that. But her parents are very traditional, so they gave me a significant amount of money to renovate the house and make it nice, make it beautiful. So
That's good. Good for
yeah,
you. Good
yeah.
for you.
But I put about 100, maybe total put about $150,000 into the house. Everything, we did everything. I finished the basement, created a full bathroom, shower, and everything. I did the piping myself. I broke the concrete, poured the concrete myself. Saved a lot of money doing it that way instead of hiring people for everything. But we changed from wall air conditioning to central air,
Mm.
and we had forced hot air, which is also the vents, and we changed that to baseboard. And I redid the floors. I redid the kitchen. I broke down the wall between the kitchen and the living room so it's more open, more spacious. I installed the island. I did all the electrical. I did the lights. Um, a lot of work. We refinished the floors in the upstairs uh, bedrooms. And then it was time for the outside. Then we redid the siding because the siding was falling apart, and then uh, we built a fence. That's kind of reference to the stress I was talking about before.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
We
Oh, yeah. Look, you
yeah,
know, any construction is stressful, right?
yeah.
If you're doing it
We
yourself, especially, you know.
we I didn't do the fence, but I paid for the fence, and then I also sold my wife's old car, bought her 2021 BMW SUV, and then I also bought myself my own BMW all in the same summer. Spent like out of pocket expenses after incorporating the money from the sales of the previous cars. I spent maybe like 25,000 within like a month.
Mm.
But that was from all the overtime I was doing. I was working day and night, day and night, day and night, every single day. I mean, my paychecks were crazy. So that's why I was working like that, so that I could reward
Yeah, but
myself.
it never ends, you know. It never ends, you know. It's
Yeah.
like, and then you get burned out, and then your health gets jeopardized.
Like now, I'm like fat, and my knees are clicking and stuff
Yeah,
like
well,
that.
you're 30 years old. You need
Yeah.
to you need to get in shape.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely,
Absolutely.
you know,
I
get in shape.
totally agree.
Get in shape.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to. I'm
Mm.
going to. I mean, uh, it's gotten to a point where it's like, I look in the mirror and I'm like, because we have a mirror on our closet, so I see myself in the mirror every day when I wake up. And it got to a point where I purposely stopped looking in the mirror, and then I looked in the mirror one day and I'm like, I've always been skinny my whole life. I'm like, I cannot have this happen.
Yeah, you got to
So
sort it out, man.
yeah,
You got
yeah,
to sort it out. You can't, you know, because you're young, you know. You got
yeah,
to make money. You know, you got plenty of time to make money. So
yeah,
yeah, but you need your health. You
yeah,
know, when you're 40 and 50, you definitely, you know, it's better if you reach that age fit
yeah,
than unfit. You know,
yeah.
and because you know being unfit, that's gonna bring a lot of health issues.
I was talking to Nick about that, the health issues, but then also, everybody, I'd say 90, maybe majority percent. I don't know the percentage really, but the majority of people when they get older, especially in their 70s and 80s, if you're even alive at that point, um, they get fat. Not like super fat, but they get the belly. Maybe their pecs are drooping, or something. Skin is sagging all
Mm.
over the place. They're getting old. So it's better to be fit when you're going into that time of your life than to be fat already, and then you get the really fat old people, and then they die. So you can't have that happen.
We all die. That's
Yeah.
the end game.
Yeah.
The end game is we die,
Yep.
and then what happens?
Oh, that's a whole other thing. I mean, a lot of people believe that nothing happens, and it's just end of consciousness. That's it. A lot of people believe you transcend, and um, what's it called? When you live another life after your
What do
life.
you believe?
Uh, well, I'll tell you what. I was born Catholic, raised Catholic, and then as I got older, I said to myself, I'm not sure if I believe this because I was taught this and trained this, or if I believe this because I truly believe it. So then I separated myself from the church, and I started to believe world religion view, where all religion is different interpretations of the same God. um, some cultures split it up into lightning god, fire god, fertility god, all these different things. And some people believe one god is responsible for all these different things. Um, but I don't believe that anymore. I reconnected with Catholicism, and I'm Catholic because I believe it's true. So I'm Catholic now, so I believe in heaven. I believe in hell, purgatory, stuff like that.
Yeah, but the thing is, you know, the consciousness. When you speak about consciousness, you know, is everything connected? What is, you know, what happens after you die? You know, and all of
Yeah,
that stuff. You know, subconsciousness. You know, and that kind of stuff.
yeah.
You know, religion doesn't give you too many answers.
It gives you more questions.
Yeah, it gives you more questions.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, you know, the guilt. I don't like when, you know, the guilt bit.
Well, that's a human error because the guilt stems from them wanting to feel better than you.
I
That's
mean,
that's
yeah,
not that's not the religion, or at least I know that's not Christianity. Maybe other religions make you feel guilty, but a sign of you just feeling guilty when nobody else is telling you to feel guilty is a sign that maybe you think something is wrong, and maybe you just don't want to admit it.
yeah, but when you go to church, they always talk about, guilt.
Yeah,
When you go to, I don't know how often you go to church, but the
yeah,
priests are they're trying to get you on a guilt trip,
yeah.
so you come back and
That's a wrong church to be in. There's a lot of wrong churches to be in
yeah.
because religion is you know uh, the structure of religion is man made.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Some will say it's guided by divine hand, by divine inspiration, and I agree when it comes to Bible scriptures and stuff like that. But I'm not sure if I agree. When you go to a Baptist church or Mormon church or maybe some other type of church or even Catholic church, and the guys running that Catholic church, specific church, are fucked up in the head. They're not. They're. I said this to Nick. Everybody has poor followers, people that say they're devout but they're not, and what they do is they believe certain things, and then they take the scripture and then they change the meaning of the scripture to fit their beliefs. And then there's good Catholics, good Christians, good Muslims, good Jews, good Buddhists that take the scripture and they change their beliefs. They realize that maybe what they're believing before they read the scripture is not good. They read the scripture and then they say, maybe I should change to follow these teachings. And I think that uh, whether your opinion, um, of the religion is good or bad, some people don't like Islam as a religion, as what for the scripture that they teach. But if somebody is following the teachings in the book, um, and they're believing the scriptures instead of making the scriptures identify with their beliefs, then they are by definition a good follower. So yeah, there are some religions
Yeah.
that are inflammatory, and the whole religion is designed to oppress and make other people feel guilty and stuff like that. But I don't think that that's Christianity. I think there's guidelines, and maybe if you don't follow those guidelines, maybe you might feel guilty. But um, I think Christianity does a good job in the scripture of telling you that it's okay. It's okay, not okay to sin, but we are all predisposed to sin. There's no stopping it. Saint Paul, uh, before before he became a Christian, he was slaughtering Christians. He was hunting them down, killing them, and then he had a vision. God spoke to him. Jesus spoke to him, and he became one of the greatest uh, disciples after that. And he had a bunch of letters to the Romans. And one of the quotes, paraphrasing, I can't remember the quote verbatim right now, but one of the quotes is when he's talking about how he's doing all the things that he doesn't want to do, and um he can't stop himself from doing the things that he know are wrong, and he can't help but not do the things that he knows are right,
Mm.
because it's just within us to want to rebel, want to do the bad shit. It's just in us as humans. Um, and just Christianity is just trying your hardest to not do that. It's not about being perfect. The people out there that say it's about being perfect are just fucking retarded. It's not about. And then these people are in every religion like this. But I despise the Christians that are like that because they give the good ones a bad name. They think Christians are anti gay, very homophobic, violently homophobic, and that's not the case. That's not the case. Jesus hung out with the prostitutes and the lepers and all these different people that society shunned. He's not hanging out with them because he likes their lifestyle, but he's hanging out with them to show us that we need to be accepting of other people's lives and lead by example. To lead a life that is following the guidelines of Christianity, but lovingly, not to condemn people and shame them for being gay or shame them for being
Absolutely. I agree.
that's not the right way.
I agree. That's not the
or
right way.
or to kill people because they're in a polygamous relationship. No, it's not the right way.
No.
It's not the right way at all. You have to teach them through love, and um, I may not feel that I want to be gay or that I would want that for my children, but that does not mean that I would ever make a gay person feel like they should kill themselves or something, or beat up gay people. Never, never, never. Christians believe you should only be violent in defensive actions. You should never let somebody step on you, but you should also never throw the first punch, cast the first stone.
Absolutely. I agree. I think you're 100% right. Yeah. That's why I teach self-defense and not attacking. And
Yeah,
that's why I don't. That's what I do. What I do.
yeah,
Anyways, that's a good. That was a good end to this conversation.
yeah, yeah. It was great talking with
It
you.
was
I
great talking
I
to
had
you,
a
my man.
great
I
time.
appreciate your time.
Yeah,
The sun is gonna come slowly, hit you in the head from the back. That's why I've got this time slot from 11:30 till 1:30, and
yeah,
we're coming up to that, and because the sun slowly comes up, and then it's
yep,
impossible to sit there.
yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right, and also it messes up the camera settings and the whole thing.
Maybe if you ever have a guest on here that you don't like and you want to debate them in an uncomfortable
Nah,
situation, maybe
nah.
you should schedule it for
I
2 o'clock
never would do that.
so
My
they start sweating.
my mission is to have interesting conversations
Yeah,
on very positive conversations,
hmm
and mindset positive
that's
conversations.
good.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people are like that nowadays.
But I had a podcast in the afternoon, but I need to change the camera settings
Yeah,
completely.
yeah.
But I had my friend from Australia, and we had like afternoon beer, and
Nice,
that was really
nice.
interesting.
Yeah,
After lunch, afternoon beer, we spent a couple of hours here talking and
yeah,
frying
yeah,
because the sun, how the
yeah,
sun goes that way.
yeah,
And the sun was blasting us here. Because everything's in the
yeah.
windows.
You should do something like that, like a play on Hot Ones. The spicy wing.
Oh yeah. Come here and get baked
Yeah, you should do that, but with beer. Have
with
like
beer.
7 beers and then start asking them really in-depth questions.
Yeah. Now we were talking, as we like to say in Australia, we were talking shit. We're
Yeah,
talking shit, and
yeah,
All right, my man.
yeah. It was great talking with
Where
you.
are we? Great talking to you. This thing is not working, but that doesn't matter. Here's my hand. Let's
Hey,
shake hands. All right, thank you so much.
yeah.
And I'm gonna end this session right here for everyone that's watching. Thank you. This was Simon.
Mm-hmm.
What was your surname? Gergas.
Uh,
Gergas.
no,
Ležaja.
Ležaja.
Ležaja. This
Yeah,
was Simon. It has to be one of those.
yeah. Proud,
Antolas,
proud.
Gergas, Ležaja,
Mhm.
Rossini,
Matura, Cibola.
Matura.
Yeah,
Those are the surnames in
yeah,
in
yeah,
this
yeah.
beautiful fisherman's village.
Yes.
They used to produce salt. But
I hope it stays this way. Even though nobody really fishes anymore here, I hope it stays quiet, calm.
yeah, everyone wants that.
Yeah,
Everyone that that comes to visit, they wanted to stay quiet. We wanted quiet too, but we don't mind a bit of movement.
yeah,
A bit of life because
yeah.
people leave. And we want young people to
Yes.
stay. So,
Yeah.
anyways, thank you again.
Yeah.
It is what it is. To everyone that's watching, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Yeah. Take care, man.
Ciao.